Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Shuril and you're watching Modest Millennial, where we talk about all things money that they don't teach you in school. So, of course, like the past couple of weeks, I've started doing this live reaction or started doing this reaction to a subreddit called FIRE, which stands for Financial Independence Retire Early. And I see a lot of posts on this subreddit about different people that post about their financial situation, different people that post about when they want to retire or what they want to do in their retired life, and a lot of interesting posts about how people went from being in debt sometimes to being able to save multi-million dollar worth of net worth or build a multi-million dollar net worth, um, and retire early. And some other people that that were already in a pretty decent position kept doing what they were doing, and eventually by like 30-35 years of age even, they stopped working their 9 to 5 jobs. So yeah, so I think I'm back today, trying to react to some of the new posts that we can see on the same subreddit, which is known as FIRE, FIRE, that stands for Financial Independence Retire Early. And in a moment here, you will see that subreddit pop on your screen, and we will discuss some of the posts that I find interesting. All right, let's go ahead and do this. All right, so you can see here subreddit FIRE, Financial Independence Retiring Early. So let's take a look at what this subreddit has to offer us today, right? All right, the very first post, it says trying to convince friend of 401ks and IRAs. Let's see what that is about. Anybody from this community have a well thought through argument as to why investing into retirement accounts is wise, even if you plan on retiring before 60s, and they would rather use that money now for things they are saving for or working on, like a new car, down payment on a house, individual account investments like options. I just can't seem to drill the idea that retirement accounts are a good idea. Okay, that's an interesting post. I personally save in a 401k. Not as much in an IRA, but outside of a 401k, I definitely do a brokerage account, and I also have a Robinhood, sort of like a play account, which is really a certain percentage of my net worth that I just invest in stocks that I want to invest in, that I find that those stocks will have exponential growth over time, and um, that can make me rich quicker, right? Um, so yeah, so 401ks, I think the advantage to investing in a 401k is, one, your money goes into the 401k. As long as it's a traditional 401k, it goes into the 401k pre-tax, which means that you get your gross pay, you contribute a certain percentage from the gross pay to the 401k, and then after that, whatever the remaining amount of money is, your gross pay minus the 401k contribution, that is the amount of money that gets taxed. So, meaning your taxable income goes down. And in your early years, I think it is important to store away or invest away as much money as possible, um, you know, um, into the market, so that the money has time to compound and time to grow with the companies and with the market, and become your net worth over time. So what happens is, if you invest outside of the 401k, your money has already been taxed. So say you're making $100,000 a year, and you pay 20% in taxes. So that means you're left with $80,000, and that you will, whatever percentage you invest or decide to invest, will be a percentage of the 80,000. And if you decide to put in the 401k instead, whatever percent you decide to put away will be a percentage of the 100,000. So you can do the math that 5% of 100,000 is higher than 5% of 80,000, right? So when you're investing money pre-tax, you have a higher chance or a bigger chance of putting more amount of money away from the get-go, rather than paying taxes on it. Of course, you can pay taxes, on the money that you make every year. You have to pay taxes on the money that you make every year, but you can optimize your tax burden by making use of the 401k account or the traditional 401k account, and by doing so, like I said, you can invest more money every month or more money every year, from the get-go. The other advantage of 401ks is that most 401ks, or a lot of 401ks out there, get a employer match. So say for example, if you contribute 4% or 5% to the 401k of your own income, the employer will match 4% to 5% or whatever their match is, just as free money to your 401k, just for having that 401k with the company. So a lot of times this is sold as a benefit to you as an employee, but of course that's 100% return on your money right away just for contributing to the 401k in terms of free money. So I really don't I really don't understand why you wouldn't want to contribute to the 401k or invest in the 401k. The caveat to investing pre-tax in the 401k is that you cannot touch that money until you are 59 and a half years of age. And if you do, you pay taxes on everything pretty much from the 401k because all the money going in is pre-tax as well. Plus, you pay a 10% penalty on whatever distributions you are taking. But you don't have to pay the penalty at least if you take the distributions after you're 59 and a half years of age. Um, so maybe that is why if people are deciding that they want to retire early, they're thinking that it doesn't make sense to have your money locked away that you cannot touch until you're almost 60 years of age. But I think to that, I will say if you are starting with the 401k early on in your life and taking the employer match, which is pretty much like free money, um, and paying less taxes on your entire income for the first several years of your FIRE journey, um, I think it's well worth having. The best you can do is once you're done with your career or with your job and you just want to retire, you can roll over the 401k into an IRA. You obviously have to pay taxes on it upfront, but I think what happens is it doesn't require you to pay the 10% penalty if you roll over the 401k into a traditional IRA and just let it grow again, right? Just let it grow over time. And that can be your nest egg after you turn 60. So between, say, if you retire at 40, you should have enough money outside of your 401k that will last you from 40 to 60 years of age, roughly. And then your 401k you can start taking distributions from after you have turned 60. Um, so basically, meaning between 40 to 60, you live on less money every year, and then after 60, you have your brokerage or your IRAs as well as your 401k. So your net worth, to say, is much higher than it was between the years of 40 and 60 when you first retired. Um, and yeah, the amount of money you can use every year to live your life will be higher after you have turned 60. So there you have it. So let's take a look at another post here. Thoughts on pets. Let's take a look at this one. This seems interesting. I don't think I've ever thought about this one before. My husband and I don't own any pets. It has been a struggle weighing the costs and benefits. Would like to know your thoughts. Edit. I'm posting on FIRE not solely because of the financial responsibility, but also because of the other responsibilities that come with having a pet. FIRE is about gaining full freedom and independence. Having a pet adds limitations in your life more than just financially. However, people love the value that pets bring to their lives. This is what I mean by weighing the costs and benefits. Okay, well, full disclosure, we have a dog. We have had the dog for almost 5 years at this point, and I think it's been amazing to just have him around. I think it was a major decision. It was a life-changing decision to get a dog because in the early few months to almost a year, you have to train the dog. You have to take the dog outside so many times. Poor thing is small and doesn't know what to do and doesn't know where to go and doesn't know what to eat and when to eat, right? So you really have to train the dog. Yeah, it does put a little bit of pressure, put a little bit of stress on your life, but the amount of joy that the pet brings to you beyond the amount of stress they're giving you, I think it far out of the joy far outweighs the stress. Plus, they're just good to be around. They're friendly. They're cute, and they sleep with you sometimes, and they play and they do their own thing that just keeps you busy and keeps you motivated, and really takes the stress of your entire day away when you see them after coming home in the evening. Um, as far as the cost of owning a pet goes, I think we have a small dog. He weighs about 10 pounds. So he doesn't eat as much. His needs aren't as heavy. And whenever we even take him to the doctor, maybe once a month or once every couple of months, it's really not that bad. The only expense I see with the dog is we have to get him vaccinated once a year, so that costs about a couple of $100. And his food that we replenish every about 3 months, which is by a giant bag. That is about $80 every 3 months. So that's what, $320. So roughly about $500 a year for maintaining the pet. And then any sort of health insurance costs, if you decide to get health insurance on top of that, um, that would be about 30 to $40 a month if you decide to do that. But yeah, I think financially it's decent if you're making a decent amount of money. Having a pet is really it brings joy, and it's freeing, and it's just entertainment to say, watching them jump around and play around, and it's fun. Um, as far as the other aspect goes, where they're saying they just want to be they just want to gain full freedom and independence, right? Yeah, I agree that you cannot just leave the pet at home and just be gone for like 5 days, but you can definitely leave the pet at home from morning until the evening, 8 to 10 hours, and they will be completely fine. You cannot do that with a baby. um, but we also have friends and family that live in the neighborhood. So if we are going away on vacations or going away for travel for a few days at a time, our friends and family are pretty attached to the pet, where they absolutely don't mind taking care of the dog for a few days. So yeah, so I think from my standpoint, having a pet is great. Having a dog is great for me. It's brings joy, is freeing. Takes a little bit of time, but I think the amount of joy they bring is it far outweighs any sort of stress that is defined in this post here. All right, so let's keep going. Let's take a look at what else we have. Reminder that the future is not guaranteed, right? Yeah, no, I agree with that, because historical returns from the market are not an indicator of what the market's going to do in the future. So there is always a little bit of risk when you're investing your money. Um, but I feel that with the kind of returns I have seen with my money over the past 3-4 years, um, I think the risks far outweigh um, the the rewards far outweigh the risks I'm seeing with the market. So, but that being said, invest with your own research. Do your own research before investing. Talk to your financial advisor. Talk to your CPA about taxes, and just remember, I'm just a random guy on the internet, so don't take my word for it. Mega backdoor Roth IRA. We'll come back to this one. I think I'll probably make a proper 10-15 minute video about mega backdoor Roth IRA at some point. I just don't know about it as much right now, so I'm just gonna skip this one. Um, let's see this one here. 250K net worth at 250K net worth to $1 million net worth. Okay, awesome. So 32 mil, 250K net worth. Took me about 4 years to get there with diligent saving and investing. Next goal is 1 million net worth until 35 to 37 years of age. Okay, great. How can I move on and build a nest egg over the next few years or decades? Job pays about 100K a year. Chemical engineer, living with my girlfriend in a nice rental apartment. No kids yet. Asset allocation 2021. Index funds 100K, 40%. Stocks 50K, about 20%. Crypto 50K, 20%. I see a lot more people are moving towards crypto now, which is great. Crowdfunding 25K, 10%. Cash 25K. Okay, I think that's a decent allocation. 10% cash is, I think it's a good amount of cash to have. Basically, my wife and I, we always keep some cash on hand. We always keep that cash in either a high yield savings account or in a brokerage account. So just like, for example, when the market dipped a couple of days ago with the Evergrande crisis that came out of China, we bought into the S&P 500 index fund, and then over the past couple of days, the market sort of has recovered. So our money that we invested a couple of days ago, that's already making money in the market. So for situations like that where you see a dip and you're like, oh, this is great price, I should probably buy at this discount, I think it's great to have a little bit of cash laying around. And as you buy, just replenish that cash every month with the money you have coming in through your paychecks. So that way you always have about 10 to 15% money left over in cash that you can use either for emergency expenses or for buying into the market at a discounted price. So I think cash is a good position to have for this person who already has so much money invested, right? Um, okay, the question was, how can I move on in a strategic way to build a nest egg over the next few years or decades? Okay, so so their job pays $100,000 a year. I wouldn't imagine. I don't think they live in a very high cost of living area. They probably live in a moderate cost of living area. Um, One thing that is, I'm not super in agreement with is that they have a nice rental apartment. Um, if you can get by with something cheaper, if you can find something cheaper, that's great. If you can buy a decent home and pay a lesser mortgage than you're paying for rent every month, one, you're shelling away less money every month than you are on rent. Two, you build equity on the home, which will count towards your $1 million net worth if that's what your target is. But yeah, between 32 and let's say 37, that gives them 5 years to go from 250K to about $1 million in net worth. Let's see, right? Let's see what their investment can look like. We can use a calculator. All right, I guess you can see it here. So they said the net worth is 250K right now. So 250,000. They have about 5 years. Can assume about 7% return from the market annually. And then let's do math with, we can increase that contribution as needed and see how that grows. Okay, so after 5 years, if they contribute only $1,000, they will end up with about $420,000. Let's bump that up to $2,000, and I'm just really increasing that right now because they said they're making 100,000. So if they contribute $2,000 monthly, that comes out to about $24,000, which is 24% of their income. I think that's pretty doable. You just got to watch your expenses. Okay, that comes out to $493,000. It's the $3,000, which is 36% per year towards their investments. Okay, which comes out to pretty close to $600,000. And then last but not the least, I'm going to do 40% roughly, which comes out to what? I'm sorry, 50%. So about $4,000, right? So that comes out to $635,000. So if you invest $4,000 a month, which is roughly 50% of your annual gross income, you can end up with $635,000 in net worth with at the rate of 7% growth over the next 5 years. It's a decent place to be. It's not $1 million. What else could you do, right? You could definitely look into side hustles. You could try making more money than the $100,000 you are making every year right now. So you could try looking at maybe doing a gig job like DoorDash or Shipt or Instacart or drive for Uber or Lyft, or there's so many out there. You can pick and choose from. You can actually see on Reddit. Actually go on Reddit, and there is dedicated forums for each of these gig delivery jobs. You can research a little bit and pick one that's most suited to your situation. That can help you bring anywhere from about $10,000 to $15,000 extra every month that you can just throw into the market, right? The other thing you can do is cut your expenses. One thing, like I've said before, is buying a house with minimum down payment. You can look into down payment options with your lender. You can pay anywhere from 3.5 to 5% in down payment and get a modest house, and start building equity on it. That equity is going to count towards your $1 million net worth as well. Um, the other thing you can look at, I'm not sure what your monthly expenses look like right now, but going investing beyond 50% every month, right? You got to look at what you're spending, in terms of your transportation costs every month. If you're paying, if there's room for changing your car, to something that is more modest and just you can get by with every month, that will free up some cash. Look at all the subscriptions you have, Netflix, Hulu, Spotify, YouTube Premium. I don't know. Look at all these things that you're paying for consciously or unconsciously every month, and maybe get rid of some of those subscriptions. So that might be a place to save more money at. Of course, eating outside. People spend around what $400 on an average I've seen every month on eating out as well as delivery services. Um, so that's $400. You can save and put directly in your pocket, and just cook at home instead. That's going to save you some money. Buying less crap. A lot of us just buy crap just because it exists and it's on sale. So really ask yourself what your goal is, instead of just going about living your life and spending money on a day-to-day basis. And based on those goals, if your goal is to achieve that 1 million net worth by 37 years of age, you really have to make conscious choices towards what you're spending money towards, instead of just buying the next best thing you see, right? I've seen a lot of people that spend money on electronics. I know the iPhone 13 just came out a couple of days ago. There's so many people that will, without a doubt, without a thought in their mind, they will just go and grab the phone and will be like, oh, it was only $1,000. But that $1,000, have you ever seen what $1,000 can be worth in about 30 years time? Let's take a look at that real quick. So let's get rid of this. 30 years, 7%, no additional contributions. All right. So $1,000 today can be worth $7,600 in 30 years if you don't spend that money on that stupid iPhone, right? Your phone works just fine. Keep using it until it dies. And then after that, if you need, you can buy a decent phone to another phone. So you can just live frugally for the time being, if achieving financial independence and achieving $1 million in net worth is your goal by 37 years of age. Other than that, I think getting married is another one. You're already living with your girlfriend. No pressure, but I'm not sure what your situation is. But I think if you can look into getting married and combining your finances, if she's making money, as well, whatever money she's making, it basically gives your finances an additional boost in terms of an additional income, and you can both save and invest towards the same goal of attaining that $1 million in net worth. Again, with the wedding, don't go too overboard. Go to a court, get a license, get married for $50, and just move on with your life. Nobody needs to know about it. Um, but yeah, I think that's some ways that you can really save money and really go about achieving your financial goals in life. I think achieving financial goals in life early on is very important, because that really frees up a lot of your time. That really frees you up from a lot of stress from your job, or you're paying your bills and all those sort of things. And yeah, so I think just you have a great goal here. 1 million by 37 is amazing. Most people in the US or around the world don't have that sort of a net worth, even when they're 60 years of age. So yeah, good luck to you. So yeah, so that's about all I have. Thanks so much for tuning in to this video. Thanks so much for watching this video. I'm pretty sure all of these posts are fun to go through. For me, at least, they're fun to go through, and hopefully they're fun for you to listen to. And if you would like for me to react to something else on Reddit or some other posts you can find somewhere else about finance, let me know in the comments below. I definitely like hearing from you guys. I definitely love interacting with you guys in the comments below, and learning new things about finance every single day, because there's only so much I can learn by reading, but real learning happens with a community. So yeah, once again, thanks so much for joining this video today, and I look forward to seeing you again in my next video. All right, thanks so much.